Morning. Have a good evening.
All right, we've come to the end of the day, and that means that instead of making a separate video for a breakdown, I'm just going to go through my 820 gajillion pages of notes. Um, so this will become a video. It's just a breakdown video. So if you see a breakdown video pop up later on this evening, this is the same thing you're getting here. It's just for people that just want to watch the little appendix. So today started out with cross of Stephanie Hale, the teacher that caused the whole, you know, possible Brady violation. Now, we did get into her testimony, her recorded testimony from the Texas Rangers, and the defense was able to cross and really show her how, you know, some things that she heard could have been different parts of the timeline. For instance, the loud metallic bang might have been the car crashing into the culvert. I think that the defense was very, very kind in, yeah, I'm okay, just tired. And you can kind of see my wig coming off, which, it is what it is after like 12 hours. It's just what it is. So all of that was basically for naught, though, because at the end of the day, the judge decided to go with the defense, and when they asked him to strike the entire testimony, he did. So, as to whether the jury will exactly be able to ignore or put out of their mind everything from her testimony is going to be another sort of issue. But I think that the defense did what they needed as well as they could. Now, the state kind of was a pain in the ass for this entire thing. Then we moved on to Amelia Franco. Now, she was the after school coordinator, and she was one of the people who was calling 911. She was the getting stuff ready for her day. She had an after school party dance, so she and the coach were kind of coordinating because it was kind of a two-person job to kind of unlock these checkpoints around the perimeter of the school. We listened to her 911 call and her testimony, and it was just heartbreaking. You could see that she was shaking and very, very, traumatized by all this, as I'm sure you would be. She talked about kind of her strategy if the shooter came into the room. Now, her defense cross with, I have nicknames for everyone. I don't remember anyone's name. So if you're new here, I call him defense lawyer Rico Suave. Um, he was very, very kind, and I think got her to admit that there had been a lot of lockdowns caused by bailout, and the defense has been really good with all of the teaching witnesses to ask about the standard operating procedure and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I also did find the first witness a bit flippant, but you know, I deal with stuff through a bad attitude and sarcasm. So I can't hate on anyone for having a bad attitude and sarcasm after what she went through. So then she was fully released. The next witness we had was Mr. Hill. He was an actual resident that lives across the street from the elementary school. He did also take a video. The defense was, kind of short and sweet with him, and he was also fully released. The next witness was Agent Nyung Wen. I may be, or look, I am probably mispronouncing it, but it was Special Agent Ballistics Man. And 15 hours of my life that I will never GD get back. Uh, Basically, it was a 900 years of nebulous hypotheticals. So the less said about that, the better. And of course, we got treated to Aussie ballistic lawyer, or as I like to call him, Locadile Dundee. Again, tip me, try the veal. I'm here all week. Um, yeah, that was insufferable, and I'm pretty sure, cruel and unusual punishment. So we continued with him for redirect, redirect, redirect. Then we got to the next teacher, Lynn Deming. She's a STEM teacher. She was teaching fourth grade at the time of the incident. She went again through kind of the standard operating procedures of lockdown, where her class was, that kind of thing. She went through her day, kind of explained that she didn't even get out of her class hallway, like her classroom building hallway. The kids had been on the way to go to the playground, and one of the children at the door was hearing the Coach Gonzalez, saying something about coming back in. And then she got all of her children back in. Again, we heard her harrowing testimony of how, she tried to keep with her kids, tried to, encourage them. Uh, Again, the defense, I think, was incredibly kind. This time, the defense was suspenders. He's the ginger. And he just kind of, again, went over, was it commonplace for substitutes to have magnets? Were there doors that were unsecure? Were there maintenance issues? Were there, when did you get alerted on Raptor? So a lot of different things like that. And basically, again, very, very heart wrenching testimony, and I wish she didn't have to get it. But she was advised that Adrian was one of the officers that facilitated the children getting evacuated out of the windows. The next person up was Nicole Ogburn, and she's also a teacher. She is a special education teacher. And again, she just went through kind of what her day was like, what she did with the children, what she saw, heard, um, things like that. Uh, she also had a 911 call. She did try to call twice on her Apple iWatch. It only went through on the last call, and she hung up on the 911 operator because she didn't want her talking to give away their position. But I think the defense did do a good job of explaining how chaotic, how people, in this situation thought the shooter was right next to them or in the building and he wasn't there. So I do think the defense is doing a good job of painting a chaotic picture of the first few seconds of this incident. And then she also talked about how there had been so many lockdowns because of bailouts that there was, not intentionally, but there was kind of this acceptance that 99 times out of 100, these, lockdowns would be called as a bailout. And then let's see, Chucky Chihuahua. Do you think this one police officer should face the brunt of the charges just because he didn't advance on the shooter at all or not quick enough? No, no, I don't. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The monster is dead, and God, I wish we could punish someone and make all of these families' pain, all of the terror of that day go away. But on this earth, we don't always get perfect justice. And I would rather take all the resources that are going into this trial and think about solutions, figure out where the hell all of this went wrong and implement solutions. I don't know what we get from this. If anyone deserves the liability, it needs to be the chief. I I'm surprised that Uvalde hasn't resorted to vigilante stuff. I don't want that. I honestly don't. I don't want that, but I have been shocked that things haven't popped off, and that's my worry. If there's a mistrial, or if Mr. Gonzalez goes free because the state wasn't able to prove its case, how is this going to help Uvalde heal? I don't know. I'm not a genius. I'm a twice college dropout. I wear wigs and do funny things on the internet. I wish I had answers because this is awful to listen to, and I can't imagine how many magnitudes worse it is to have lived it. But it's ridiculous. Now, our last yeah, he's our last one. Our last witness was this Texas Ranger Kevin Wright, and he seems like he is going to be talking a lot about ballistics. He worked inside the school, so he did trajectory of bullets that entered the window from the outside, where the shooter was outside, and kind of oh gosh, lining up the paths that those bullets went through. Now, it seems like the state is just bound and determined to test our ADHD because that is where we will be starting tomorrow. And the state said they're not even halfway done. Now, do be mindful that tomorrow, I have weekly wrap up with Shizzy, so mornings take a little bit longer, but I should be done by the time we start or a couple minutes behind, but I will be there. Uh, and then what else I think? Do be mindful that he might be starting to get into classrooms where blood will be evident and things like that. And as always, take breaks. This is really, really heavy testimony. I appreciate you all hanging out. Today with us and I appreciate Nick agreeing to collaborate because this has not been an easy day, and I don't think we're going to get any better. I think we're going to start getting into the rooms where children lost their lives, and it's not going to get any easier. So thanks for hanging out with us. We try to find the humor where we can. And, like, subscribe, support, do all of the YouTube things. I'm not that great of a grifter, but I will see you guys tomorrow. And have a lovely evening. Thank you all for, just, being there for us as we watch these trials. It's not easy. So thank you guys so much. I will see you in a couple hours tomorrow morning at 8. If you like news, if you like the absurd, if you like no politics, I don't tell you what to think, I just read the headlines and tell y'all what to think, then Mornings with Mo might be for you. So give it a try if you want to see what the insanity is about, because the condom trumpet is just the least of the things that I find on my algorithm. It's amazing. Bye, you guys.